Hello and welcome everybody to 2.0's Final Upate News. I am your host Yeetify, and today we are going to be covering the entirety of the latest Trailmakers update in detail. This video is going to be split into several subparts. In the first segment, we will be covering content mentioned in the first and last dev diaries, including the collaboration with Catarinth for the OST, as well as the paid downloadable content. After that, we will move on to a more detailed and unrestricted look at all of the new blocks. And last but certainly not least, in the final segment, we're going to have a look at the campaign. Duh, that's kind of the point of the video. With introductions out of the way, we can immediately begin with the first segment. In the first dev diary, Johannes is joined by Carl and Catarinth, more commonly known in this community as Scrapman, to talk about 2.0's soundtrack. Carl explains his thought process and stance when it comes to making a game's soundtrack. Catarinth sheds more light on his background, most notably mentioning how for a very long time games and music often went hand in hand for him, and his knowledge from having played games and the sound and vibe from tracks Carl had already made influenced his process on making the perfect background track for the Mega Drill fights in the campaign. Here is a quick snippet to jog your memory. To finish off this segment, let us briefly cover the two paid DLCs for this update. Contextually, you may have been able to deduce what kind of content is in these DLCs. However, if you didn't, let me clue you in. If you don't buy these, your Trailmakers experience isn't changed in any way, shape or form. However, if you particularly like Flashbomb's work and would like to support them further than just buying in-game content, you can do something about it in the form of the art and sound of Trailmakers. The Sound of Trailmakers is a complete album of every musical piece coming as part of this update. This, presumably, will be the only place you can officially listen to these tracks outside of the game. The Art of Trailmakers is a 90-paged digital art book about concept and design processes in and around this update. There isn't anything visually to back this up with, obviously, since, well, they want you to buy it, not just take screenshots. They will each cost $6.99 US, or whatever that converts to in your area. Moving swiftly on to the next segment, which, as already established, we're going to have a look at the new blocks. While we're here, let's cast a glance at the seemingly final version of the build mode categories. Now that we know where everything is, we can begin looking at the new blocks again. And with that, we can continue with today's final segment, the campaign itself. Before addressing the elephants in the room, I will quickly go over the more minor but still critical aspects of the campaign. In this campaign, and only in this campaign, you have a fuel bar. This was added to fabricate a survival aspect to the game. In other games, you as a character could get hungry, or thirsty, or both, or maybe something else entirely. In Trailmakers, there isn't really anything to eat, and anyway, you're always in a vehicle. The most impactful aspect of any vehicle in a mission is how far it can go, and thus, they give you a limited fuel tank. As far as I'm aware, if you do use more fuel with more engines, the difference is negligible. Another campaign exclusive aspect are the repair tokens. Across the entire game, the repair and transform system has been revamped. To repair, you can't simply just press R anymore. Doing that will simply bring your vehicle in its current state to your player character, or set it upright if you flip it. To do any kind of repair, be that in motion, or in the air, or on the ground, or out of your vehicle, you have to hold R. This will consume one repair token unless you are outside of the seat. Because of the changes to repairs, transforming has had to move. To transform now, you have to hold F. However, please keep in mind that pressing F still makes you leave the vehicle, so make sure you hold for long enough. Transforming no longer consumes repair tokens and instead just carries over any damage you may have taken to the vehicle you transform into. To recover your fuel and repair tokens, you can defeat certain enemies, collect refuel cells littered around the map, or return to any frigate settlement. Now onto the campaign itself. Let me set the scene. You are a young fledgling trailmaker, tasked with delivering a shipment of supplies to the planet Gregory on the other side of the galaxy. This planet is home to a peaceful species known as frigates. However, when you get there, you notice that an invasive mining operation is being conducted by artificial life forms and is taking the planet by storm, and threatening to completely destroy it. This mining operation is the brainchild of Botnak Industries, and it is now your mission to liberate Gregory and its frigates from their invasion by destroying the megadrills and aiding settlements in regrouping after taking the brunt of the Botnak offensive force. You begin by doing a small tutorial and then moving on through the story. There are 3 main biomes in this map: the meadows, mudflats, and withering heights. Each of them are enormous and have their own little subparts for you to discover, which have varying levels of difficulty. The Botnak are present in 5 main forms: the megadrills, dogfighters, artillery pods, hover tanks, and miners, the last 3 of which each have 3 different stages of difficulty to them, which I covered last week. The developers have estimated the campaign to have a playtime of at least 10 hours. I know Dr. Observation will still complete it in about 7 minutes, however that shouldn't affect your play experience. That just about encompasses everything you need to know going into this brand new update. Its name is Pioneers, which is a nod to what the game was originally meant to be called. It comes out on March 6th and is completely free to play. This has been Utify, and for now, that will be it for Upate News. The next episode will air as soon as we get information about later updates. I hope you enjoyed.